All right, looking at local and absolute extremas, that sounds very complex, but don't fret. It is just maximum and minimums. You have found maximums and minimums before. We just give them a little fancier name because just like in Spanish 1, we give you the most basic sentences. And then as you progress to Spanish 4, you get more complex vocabulary. Same thing happens here. You're in the big league math, so you're getting a little bit more vocabulary, but it is just maximum and minimum. And we're going to talk about the difference between local and absolute. So absolute, I think, makes the most sense. Absolute is just as tall as you can be, or as low as you can be. So in this graph, this is as low as it goes. So that is an absolute minimum. Okay. Whereas other humps that happen, so here's a top point, here's a bottom point, those are still important, especially when you get in calculus. You'll do some critical points, and so they're very crucial then. But this would just be a local max and a local min. So remember, minimum is always at the bottom, maximum is always at the top. So also, I'm sure it's in your definition, but minimum is where you go from decreasing to increasing. So that's how you make a downhill. Whereas maximum is where you go from increasing to decreasing, where that rate of change happens. Okay. Later on, we're going to be talking about the halfway point. So you may remember the term midpoint. So we're going to be talking about midpoints later. I'm just going to leave those there for now, though. Okay. So looking at this picture, here's what it looks like. A relative max here. So the wording here is what's weird. Where x equals 2, because x is 2. So the relative maximum is what the y value is. So it's the output. The relative maximum is 1 where x equals 2. Okay. The relative minimum is 0 where x equals 4. Okay. We can call this a relative minimum. That's okay. It's at -8 when x equals -3. But this is also an absolute minimum. Okay. So really the only thing new there is maybe those words. Okay. As far as the way that sentence is structured. We can also approximate values. Well, way one is really just to put this in Desmos and tell me exactly what the answer is, right? But I can also make guesses because I am given a graph right here. But I would use instead, I would use a graph. So we're going to round, that way it will be more accurate because yeah, I could say that looks just a little past 4. So maybe I say 4.1. When Desmos will tell me that it is 4.08 when x is approximately, so we use wavy equal signs for approximately, -1.15. So note, side note here, good note-taking strategy is to actually pause this video and actually go to Desmos and type this in yourself to make sure that that makes sense on touching those maxes and mins so that you don't get confused, okay? And the min is at -2.08 when x is approximately 1.15. Okay, and that is all there is to max, mins, and extremas for the new fancy word.